It's time for SportsZone. I'm your host, Joslyn Mitchell, and we have the latest in sports. North Texas volleyball, soccer, and basketball, as well as the college basketball rankings, a MLS update, NFL injuries, and many more. But first, let's get into some mean green football. Now, this past weekend was by far the best weekend. We just defeated the defending Conference USA West champions. So now we are looking forward to homecoming game, which is versus UTEP. Now, if we win this game, then we have clutched the title of Conference USA West. Do you guys think we have what it takes?
I feel like it's no question, no doubt. I feel like with UTEP being 0-8 right now, I believe they are. They haven't won a single game. I feel like it should be a breeze. Beating them should be a breeze. It's homecoming. Everything's set right for us to win the game. I don't see why not.
We have to.
Yeah, I'm with Ron. I think we should be able to win this game easy. Like you said, UTEP is winless, and we're rolling right now. We've shown in fourth quarters, even when we're down, we can come back and win a game. So I think it should be an easy win for us. We should go out there and get it.
Definitely. I definitely think that we showed, especially with Old Dominion, who wasn't the greatest of teams, but we did show defense more than anything, definitely showed. So I think we have like a 99.9% chance, only because—
That's a pretty good chance.
Yeah, I know, right? The little 1%. Anything can happen. We have different teams on our tails already, and we are looking at the game, the championship game, December 2nd. But who do you think that we have most importantly to worry about? I know we got beat pretty bad by Florida Atlantic, but who else could possibly be it?
The only team that is really close on our tails right now is UAB. If we lose this weekend, which I doubt will happen, but if we lose this weekend, then we'll be tied with them in the conference. So it's kind of a must-win, but I feel like we got the win.
Yeah, it should definitely be a win. Outside of UAB, I mean, you got Southern Miss and UTSA, who are both 1 and 1.5 games behind us. So they're close, but they're not too close to the point where all we have to do is we control our own destiny. As long as we keep winning, we'll be all right. That's the main goal, is just keep winning.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. And then I think I know our defense is going to come through. Now, we're going to switch over, and we're going to go into coaches that are getting the boot. It is week 11 of college football, and it is time for us to talk about the coaches that are in the hot seat. Now, quickly, give us a list or the main person that y'all think is probably not going to be back next season.
Sad to say, but head coach Butch Jones at Tennessee. I mean, you got Tennessee right now. They have absolutely no conference wins. They're 0-5 in conference. Overall, they are 4-5, so they do have 4 wins outside of conference, but Tennessee likes to hold themselves to a standard higher than that. And I understand that Tennessee is a pretty young team right now. They have a brand new quarterback, brand new running back. Their O-line is pretty young. I understand, but that's still not an excuse in the SEC. You got to bring it every week, and being 0-5 in conference is just unacceptable, and it may be time for Butch Jones to go.
Definitely.
For me, sad to say, but Kevin Sumlin's got to go at Texas A&M. His only claim to fame there, he's beaten Arkansas every year, but he hasn't beaten the big teams in the SEC. He hasn't gotten the big wins on his resume, Alabama, LSU. He needed those wins. Games this year at Texas A&M, I remember in the beginning of the season they played UCLA and they blew a 30-point lead. You just can't have that at Texas A&M.
Definitely.
And the funny thing is, yours was my number 1 and yours was my number 2. But I'll just say my number 3 was Mike Riley at Nebraska. And the problem with a lot of these coaches is, unfortunately, their job depends on winning. So it could be the players that are doing horrible or somebody got injured that's out of your control, but at the same time, that's your job. Same thing with Littrell. He came in, unfortunately our coach got fired, and then now we have a new coach and new things started to happen. And it is what it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, but let's switch over to some college basketball rankings. The college basketball season begins this Friday, November 10th, and the NCAA basketball rankings are up, having Duke at number 1 for a 2nd straight year. Now, do you guys agree with that, with them being in this being their 2nd time? Because I mean, last year they were 2nd, but they were 1st. I'm sorry, but they also fell in the 2nd round of the playoffs to South Carolina.
Yeah, now South Carolina, that was a very good team last year. They really could have beaten anybody. And I hate that it had to be Duke they beat, because Duke was my choice to win the championship last year. But they're my choice again this year. I mean, I got Duke at number 1. They're coming in strong, top recruiting class. I don't see anybody stopping them. I can't see a South Carolina beating them again. So
They
yeah.
definitely do. And they had the top guy, Marvin. So, yeah.
Yep.
What about you?
For me, I don't have really any problems with the rankings. Maybe Michigan State could have been number one. I can see that Tom Izzo had a great recruiting class. He has a lot of depth in his lineup. But Duke with Grayson Allen, if he can get his mind right and stop tripping people, I feel like Duke has a chance to be in the Final Four again.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Definitely.
Now we will go to Shelby Whitley for our MLS update.
We are now down to the top 4 teams in the MLS Cup playoffs. It has been an absolute crazy run to get here, and we have 2 teams coming off upsets and the Cup favorites entering their first leg without their 2 leading scorers. Now for the Eastern Conference Championship, we have Toronto FC versus Columbus Crew. Crew's escaping the Yankee Stadium with an upset against the New York City FC to match up with the Reds. Now Toronto will be without Sebastian Giovinco due to card accumulation, and as of right now, Josie Altidore will also miss that match. He had an altercation with Sasha Kajesin, which is being dubbed the turmoil in the tunnel. Toronto is, of course, appealing the decision, but even without their 2 top forwards, Toronto still have plenty of depth with Toussaint Ricketts and Jonathan Osorio replacing them. And they have the option of pushing Victor Vasquez up the field. The Crew's back four will still be having a tough time stopping the attack. Crew, however, have been on their own storied run, so far winning the last 12 of the past 13 games. The fans and the team have been a force to be reckoned with amidst the growing concerns that this will be the last year that the Crew will be in Columbus. Now for the Western Conference Championship, we have the Houston Dynamo going up against Clint Dempsey and his Seattle Sounders. Dempsey is coming off a brace which sent the Vancouver Whitecaps home and the Sounders into the Conference Championship. He'll have to face off against a rock-solid Dynamo defense, which has only allowed 3 goals in the last 7 matches. I predict that the Toronto FC will bring home the cup and that the Seattle Sounders, which won in 2016, will be going home with nothing. Now back to you, Joslyn.
We are talking more Mean Green Sports right after the break.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. And I appreciated it very much, the attention that was given. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right?
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
It is now time for some Mean Green volleyball. The North Texas volleyball team managed to get 2 wins this past weekend, one on Friday against Marshall with a 3-0 sweep, and another one on Sunday versus La Tech with a 3-0 sweep as well. With these 2 wins, their record is now 11-1, having them sitting comfortably as the 2nd seed. We have 2 games left, Western Kentucky and Middle Tennessee, but the most important game will be against Western Kentucky, which is this Thursday at 6 p.m. Now, fellas, I know we talked about this last week, But this game is a big deal because we're already second. But if we beat Western Kentucky, we have a chance to be at first. So do you think that we can actually make it? Because I think we have what it takes. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think we have a chance to be first. Our volleyball team has been really great this season. We're second in conference in kills and hitting percentage. Seniors Amanda Chamberlain and Holly Neelam have been excellent this year. Carly York has been great, assist to her teammates. Also love our defense. Alexis Wright has been another senior with 59 blocks, second on the team. She's doing great, and I don't see why we can't be first in conference.
And it's so sad because it's sad, but then it's not, because majority of our really, really dominant players are leaving us.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're definitely gonna miss them. I think that they have a good shot at being number one. If you ask me, they are number one. That one lost game doesn't matter to me because we came back and we beat Southern Miss again. But another question I have is, how far do you think these ladies can go as far as getting a conference title?
I don't see why we can't get the conference title. I think we have the best defense in the conference. I think we have the best offense. I think we're a gritty team and we fight. And like I said, most teams haven't even made us play into a fifth set. So I think we can definitely get that conference title.
I agree with you as well. Now we're going to switch over into some soccer. The North Texas soccer team has shocked us last week by not losing a home game in 9 seasons. But this week, they have done something else spectacular. The Mean Green soccer team won their 13th conference championship in program history this past weekend, defeating Charlotte. They will now face the University of Texas Austin this Friday in Austin. I think that's amazing. I mean, I was already shocked that they have not lost a home game in basically 9 years.
Amazing.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. I know. I've never seen a team that do that. But with them facing UT Austin, what do you think that we need to do, or do you think that we already have it to win this?
First off, let me just say I'm so proud of our women's soccer team. 5 rings in 4 years, that's amazing for any team. But on Friday, I think we're going to take the Bulls by the horn. I think we're going to give UT all it can handle. And I think we can go out there and get the win in Austin.
I definitely think these girls have what it takes. They're good fighters. They're good at ending it out on the team. They're good at fighting to the end. Even if it seems like they may be losing, they'll probably end up with a tie. And I think that's amazing. I think that's really good. But now we're going to switch over to North Texas basketball. The season of college basketball is finally approaching. The North Texas women's basketball team has started their season with a victory against the TWU Pioneers this past weekend with an ending score of 69-66. The men's basketball team will be kicking off their season this Friday at 5 p.m. Central Time. Now we're going to start with the women. This is Coach Mitchell's 3rd season with the girls. What are some expectations that you guys have for her?
Well, with this being Coach Mitchell's 3rd season, I definitely expect some continuity to be on the team. I don't expect there to be any inconsistencies on the team. I think the team at this point should know their identity. You know, it's been long enough to where this team should know who they are. You got to go out there, and now it's time to get the job done. You know, there shouldn't be any questions. Let's just do it now.
Since signing Coach Mitchell, we've improved in our winning percentage each season. I think the goal should be we should be a 500 team. We have a lot of talent returning. And freshman Lauren Holmes had a great game. Look out for her this season. She had 23 points against TWU. She can be a spark for this team. And I think, like I said, we should be a 500 team.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is a lot of these girls are young. So we have beyond this season to grow. Now let's go into the men's. We also have a new coach on the block, Coach McCaslin, as well as some new big boys. What do you think that we have to look for the men's team?
I like Coach McCaslin. You know, the thing about Coach McCaslin is that he's been there. He's been there and he's done that. He has the experience factor. And with that, I think the biggest thing for him this season is to start fast. If he can start this season fast, winning maybe the first 3 of the 5 games, just getting on a good foot, I think that'll gain the trust of the players and the trust of the fan base, and we should have a great season from there.
Like you said, Ron, experience is going to be a big factor. Greg McCaslin, his resume speaks for itself pretty much. At Baylor, he was an assistant. He was there when they won the NIT championship. He was also there for when the Baylor Bears went to the Elite Eight and the Sweet 16 a couple times. Has a career winning percentage of 80%. I don't see why we can't be in the top half of our conference with our new players and a new coach.
And I think that's also a good idea that you pointed out, was that he came from Baylor, which was a very elite team. And I think that's a good thing for us to pull out people or get coaches from high-ranked schools to come down here and help us a little more because the people that he's recruited. Yeah. I think they're already going to make things happen, and I think we have a good shot at making things work, and I think we just got something going. Real quick, do you think that we have a chance of getting a title? Yes or no?
This year, not yet, but we will be competing for it. We'll be in the top half.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Not yet, but like Ron said, we'll be competing, definitely.
Okay. Don't go anywhere. We have your NFL injuries update next.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Oh, emojis. I thought the conversation just got dumber.
Ugh, internet trolls, just ignore them.
I like you just the way you are.
I believe in you.
She's a hugger. Give her a squeeze.
Help up the hand.
Ah, there you go.
Thanks, mate.
You're killing it, Jane!
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it, first impression, my way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
The NFL has had quite the injuries this year. One in particular, Deshaun Watson, tearing his ACL while practicing. Now, I don't know about you guys, but that's really an unfortunate situation, especially now that he may be replaced with Savage. What do you think about that?
I think it's just horrible. The fact that Deshaun Watson tore his ACL in the manner that he did, it wasn't even in the game, it was in practice. It's just horrible, man. Deshaun Watson may be the brightest thing the NFL has going for themselves. Like, honestly, Deshaun Watson is going to be the future of the NFL, and he was going to be the Rookie of the Year this year. Now, that's in question. The Rookie of the Year could be a number of different people, but I feel like it was so unanimous when Deshaun Watson was healthy, and the way he was leading that team, he was carrying that team on his back, and he led the league in touchdowns. He was just so dynamic. It made no sense. Nobody had an answer for him. No defense could stop him, and now that he's gone for the season, it's heartbreaking for everybody.
Yeah, and it's very unfortunate. So, okay, I can see how passionate you were about that was your most impactful injured player.
Definitely.
So what about you?
For me, the team that's getting hurt the most is the Green Bay Packers, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm kind of happy because I'm a Cowboys fan.
Yes, me too.
Without Aaron Rodgers, they just look lost. The John Hundley, the backup quarterback, he doesn't take shots downfield. It's all short passes. The offense has no rhythm. But the weird thing is they have weapons all around the field. They have Jordy Nelson, they have Devontae Adams, they have Randall Cobb, and they still can't do anything. When the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers, with Aaron Rodgers was on the field, the Packers' record was 4-1. They haven't won a game since.
And their defense just looks so lost without him too. They can't stop anybody. Their receivers aren't really catching any passes. They just lost all life once Aaron Rodgers got hurt. The energy just is gone.
Don't mean to sound biased, but I mean, Cowboys defense is getting better too. But anyway, we're going to switch over to the NFL commissioner. The NFL commissioner Roger Goodell's contract extension is like today's weather. Mostly cloudy. A few weeks ago, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, along with other owners, have been reportedly stalling on the decision of extending his contract. With the ongoing issue like Zeke's suspension to kneel or not to kneel, it's no wonder the owners are not in a hurry to renew the commissioner's contract, or why he lost much support from his fans. It has also been reported that Jerry Jones hired a lawyer to block Goodell's contract.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, if you had the decision, would you want him back? I'm just saying he has done a lot that's not good.
I can answer that for you. In my humble opinion, Roger Goodell gets a C+ as a commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been late to controversies around the NFL since he got in as commissioner. Let's not even talk about the anthem protest. We can talk about the domestic violence from a couple years ago when players were getting different suspensions. Ray Rice gets suspended, yet Greg Hardy plays. I don't understand that. 2011 NFL lockout. That's just leadership. 2012 referee lockout when we had high school refs literally on the NFL field officiating. And Deflategate, I can keep going on and on. This guy's just not a leader to me, so no, I wouldn't.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I'll give him a C+ too, but I don't believe Roger Goodell should be the commissioner. However, I do believe his contract should be extended just for 1 or 2 more years. Now, let me explain that. I don't think he's a good commissioner for the league. However, right now, he is the commissioner. And I'm not convinced that we have a better option than him right now. So I think for the time being, he should just let it ride just for a little bit longer until we find a better option, which should be within the next year or 2 at the longest, you know, because it is time for him to go. We can't just kick him out and have no answer, you know what I'm saying? We do need to have someone to replace him. So I think we need, right now, what the league needs to do is find a replacement, and once that replacement has been found, Goodell can go.
That's a good, that's a business decision right there. Now we're finna switch and play a little game. This week's game is called Would You Rather with NFL Edition. I'm going to ask you guys a couple scenarios, and you give me what you would rather do or what you would rather be in.
Let's play.
All right.
Okay. Now, the first question is dealing with that a little bit. If you were Zeke, would you rather take the suspension with hopes that you will be here for a playoff run, or would you rather keep fighting?
At this point in the season, I would just keep fighting. I feel like if you were going to take the suspension, you take it at the beginning of the season, get it out the way, finish the season strong, go into the playoffs with that momentum. If you were to take the suspension right now, you're going to lose all the energy and momentum that you need going into the playoffs. And at that point, it's not even guaranteed that the Cowboys would even make the playoffs if he gets suspended. So if I'm Zeke, I'm going to keep fighting as long as I can.
I agree with Ron, but I have a different answer. And my reasoning is because if you're going to label me as an abuser, I'm going to keep fighting. It's basically what he said in his own comments, like, he's not an abuser, so keep fighting. Keep fighting until you get the outcome which you want.
That makes sense. Okay, number 2, the 49ers traded for Jimmy Garoppolo. Would you rather, seeing that they are on a 9-game losing streak, would you rather put him in with hopes of winning, or would you rather continue to keep tanking to ensure for the first overall pick?
I would decide to play him. Not just yet, though. I don't think that he's ready. I don't think he's acclimated to the offense just yet. So if you were to play him this weekend, I feel like you're throwing him into the fire and you're just asking him to fail. Give him a few more weeks to learn the offense, understand what's going on, and then towards the end of the season, maybe when there's about 2-3 weeks left, then give him a couple games to, you know, get his feet wet in that offense.
Cool. Would you rather let him tank?
I got to disagree with you here, Ron. Honestly, I feel like you just got to throw him out there. I mean, you're playing for nothing.
Yeah.
They're 0-9 or something like that. So, I mean, put him out there. Let's see what he can do. Maybe he can get a win. You never know. So just put him out there.
Perfect. Hate to cut you short. That's a very good topic. But we will be back after the break. But before we go, SportsZone would like to give our condolences to the Halladay family. Former Major League pitcher Roy Halladay died in a plane crash on Tuesday afternoon in the Gulf of Mexico. Roy pitched for the Toronto Jays and Philadelphia Phillies between 1998 and 2013. He was the American League Cy Young Award recipient in 2003 and the National League Cy Young Award recipient in 2010. He was 40 years old. We'll be right back.
Company.
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Okay, so we drowned the fire.
Yep.
Stirred it. Drowned it again. And now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
We have 5 good games coming up this week, and we're going to give you our prediction of the winning team as well as the ending score. Now, real quickly, I'm going to say the games, and then you guys just give me your winning team. Right. The first game is TCU versus Oklahoma this Saturday. Then we have Michigan State versus Ohio State this Saturday. And then we have Hardin and the Rockets versus King James and the Cavs on Thursday. And as well, we have the Lakers and the Wizards on Thursday. And then we're going to end the weekend with the Cowboys versus Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. So, real quickly, I'll start with you, Shelby. What are your predicted winning teams?
Well, first, I have OU taking on TCU, and I have them winning. I have them winning at 35-27. There's not going to be much defense here. It's another Big 12 matchup. But I have Baker Mayfield taking care of the ball better than he did last week in Bedlam. Next, I have Michigan State winning against Ohio State. They had a bad loss last week against Iowa, and I don't think they're going to be quite over it. I think it's going to be a rough couple of weeks to end off the season. And so I think the end of that game will be 35-27 with Michigan. And then I have the Cavs over the Rockets. Now, the Cavs have been terrible in the beginning of the season, but they have a better record against top teams. And I think they're going to start getting it together, you know, actually start getting more involved in games. I have them winning 113-111. And then with the Wizards, I have them winning against the Lakers. I know they lost last time, but then it was all about LeVar Ball. And I think the Wizards are going to play more to their game now. And they took a recent loss against the Mavericks, which looked really bad. So they're going to be on top of their game. Yeah. And then I have the Dallas over Atlanta. I think they're getting momentum now. Our defense is playing at a better level, a more consistent level. And I think going forward, I think we're going to have a pretty great season overall. And Atlanta's still not over that Super Bowl loss, as you can tell. They're struggling really hard.
What about you?
For me, TCU at Oklahoma. TCU has a really good run defense, but I don't think that's going to have any answer for Baker Mayfield and that Oklahoma Sooner offense. Michigan State versus Ohio State. Michigan State has been rolling the past couple of weeks. Big win over Penn State last week. Ohio State took a terrible loss to Iowa. I feel like they're not going to be able to bounce back from that one. I got Michigan State 24-21. The Rockets at the Cavs. James Harden has been balling this year. 56 points, I believe, last week. I see him keep that rolling and keep that team going. The Cavs have been terrible, up and down. They usually come out and play against better teams, but I just don't see the Cavs having an answer for that high-powered Rockets offense.
Real quick, sorry. Do you have the Wizards winning or you got the Lakers winning?
Might be a bit of a bias, but I got the Lakers winning 105-98. I think Lonzo's gonna ball out in this game. He played terrible.
What about the Cowboys and the Falcons?
Cowboys against the Falcons. Cowboys have been rolling. I think it continues 27-24.
Good. That wraps up our show for the week. Don't forget to follow us on all of our social media handles at NT SportsZone. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel and listened to our Overtime podcast, what are you waiting for? Please do so. Our Mean Green Game Day will air this Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time on ESPN3. Happy homecoming, UNT. We will see you same place, same time next week.